You're welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Well, he was the Member of Parliament for Komenda Edina Egwafo Ebrim KEEA constituency from January 2013 to January 2017, and also Central Regional Minister from May 2006 to January 2006. He's worked as a deputy 2009, I beg your pardon. He's worked as a Deputy Central Regional Minister from 2005 to 2006, and then a District Chief Executive from 2001 to 2005 at the KEEA District Assembly. That certainly gives you an idea that he has risen through the ranks of decentralization and as such expected to do wonders with local government in this country. Well, he's here in the studio. We can run a litmus test of our own. Dr. Atto, Engineer Dr. Atto Arthur is the new head of the local government service. He took over from Dr. Callistus Maham. Professionally, like I gave you the title, he is an engineer and a local government expert. So you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's start with your portfolio. What does it entail?
The Office of Head of Local Government Service is responsible for what I refer to administrative decentralization in the country. Okay. What is administrative decentralization? Decentralization, in a word, is a transfer of power and authority from the center to the sub-national level. When I say from the center, from national level to a sub-national level, meaning in our case, Ghana, we're referring to the regional coordinating councils and metro municipality assemblies. This is what decentralization is about. And we have political decentralization, administrative decentralization, and fiscal decentralization. Administrative is the mechanism where the staff of the decentralized system, how do you
manage them?
Manage them.
That's what the government has asked you to do?
That is what local government service does.
That's what local government service does?
Yes.
So what is it that you bring on board in this service?
5 areas that I want to look at during this tenure of mine. First of all, as per Article 240 2E of our Constitution, we want to ensure that there's transparency and accountability in the RCCs and MMDAs. That is number 1. Number 2, how do you link ICT with improved internally generated revenue throughout Ghana, with the exception of 1 or 2 MMDAs that you might think of having over 30% of their total revenue by way of internally generated revenue. All the others below 22%. Okay. How do we improve upon the internally generated revenue? Okay. One way of doing that is to ensure that we have data, know the rateable property, monitor those who go to collect. And so there will not be people going out to collect 100 Ghana cedis and pocketing 50 and pay 50.
And what exactly are you going to do to, I mean, we've had this problem, we've had this system run for some time, but we still haven't really seen the complete benefits of a decentralized
This time around
system.
It's going to happen. How is it going to happen? Mm-hmm. Just a little while ago, I met a company that is doing with GIS mapping. GIS mapping gives you the properties in that locality, the type of properties in that locality. We'll be able to monitor those we send to go and collect. Somebody is sitting at a call center and we'll be able to know what is going on at that place. When I collect 100 Ghana cedis, I pocket 50.
Okay.
Somebody sitting somewhere will be able to know what is going on.
I see.
And I believe that we'll be able to collect what we need to collect and reduce what we have collected going to individuals' pocket. I believe we'll be able to.
So you speak about transparency and accountability, ICT, and improving on the IGF, but you mentioned 5 things.
Yeah, we also need to share best practices
Okay.
You know,
so that's like more education?
By way of twinning or sister city partnerships.
Sister city is something that we've been doing for a while now. What benefits have we made from that?
Anytime I talk about sister city partnerships, people only think of, say, Commended Negua for Elmina partnering the other municipality in the Netherlands. It's not always the case.
Okay.
What is Techima municipality doing that KEA is not doing? What is a Hunter West District Assembly
So you're
doing?
looking at a localized kind of sister city?
Fortunately for us, today we have indicators measuring performance in the assemblies. You get about first 10 performing. Why is that always you have about last 10 or last 20? So how can we make it in such a way that the last 20 we're able to learn from the first 20?
Okay, so
this is the best practices that I'm talking about.
So 3 areas now. What are the other 2? You mentioned 5 things that you bring on board.
Today, President Anako Addo is talking about elections of DCs.
Okay.
What are the fundamentals that the local government service will be able to put in place to ensure that we are ready for the elections of DCs? That's
what you're going to do.
That's also
Where do you start?
We start from the Office of Head of Local Government Services of Regional Coordinating Councils and the Assembly, MMDAs.
So how is it going to start, that particular project, the election of DCEs? How is it going to start? The president has given you a deadline.
Exactly.
Right.
For now, we are going to appoint the DCEs.
Okay.
MMDCs are to be appointed as per the existing laws. Our laws today, some need to be amended to be able to give way for the elections.
So the first start is that you're going to work on these amendments. So you're pushing through something to Parliament?
Although this will be the work of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. By this way,
they will be laying those things in Parliament.
Exactly. But we need to work hand in hand.
Okay.
We need to prepare. The last one, you're also aware of the one district, one factory that His Excellency the President has talked about.
Right.
When we talk one district, there are districts, MMDAs, right? What are we to do to make sure that we will be ready for the project?
So tell us.
We have the coordinating directors in our districts. We have the planning officers, we have budget officers, we have the engineers. We all need to come together, particularly the agric sector in the DAs.
Okay, if you tell us about what we need, a lot of people will tell you that we know what we need. That's why we put people like you there. So tell us how you are going to help us achieve what we need, specifically, sir.
Specifically, we need to build capacities of our people at the local level. They today need to be very sharp, that this is that we don't have the time any longer to wait. This is the time. Give them timelines. Submit this by this day. Do this by this day. If we're able to give them timelines, they need to work to it. If they don't, do we have sanctions? Yes. These are things that we need to put in place to ensure that we are ready for the takeoff.
Sanctions. Now, it still sounds pretty vague.
Vague?
Yes, at this point that you've assumed responsibility of the local government service, sir, what are the plans? Are there any plans at all so far as to how you are rolling out the one district, one factory project promised by your government?
There are a couple of plans now. Let me first admit that the one district, one factory project is not going to be implemented by the local government service.
Okay.
We all need to come together. This is a policy by the president. Very many ministries, agencies, organizations need to come together. We don't need to sit down and say that this is from Ministry of Trade and Industry or this is from this agency. No.
So whose sole responsibility is it to roll out this program? Which of the ministries? You talked about
concerted effort.
Yes, but whose primary duty? So I sit here, I work as a multimedia journalist. I'm on TV, but I can do radio as well. But my primary duties are here on TV. So if you say we all have to come together, what are they?
The policy falls under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. But as we speak, there is an office at the presidency that's responsible for the project.
Okay.
But what I said, we don't need to leave it to only that agency or only that office. Because if the local government service is in charge of administrative decentralization in Ghana, and the project is to be in the districts, we need land. We need to talk to our chiefs. We need to make sure that today we don't have an office that is going to be in charge of one district, one factory.
Okay.
But we have existing assemblies.
You said there's an office at the presidency.
No, I mean in the districts.
In the districts.
But the district assemblies are there.
So at what point does the local government institute service come in?
It comes in from day one, as we speak.
As we speak?
As we speak.
So what is the strategy?
The strategy is meeting our district coordinators, our finance officers,
okay,
our budget analysts and engineers. How do you begin talking to our chiefs? Our chiefs own land in Ghana.
Okay.
If you're going to put up a factory, it should be on a land, isn't it?
Okay.
It needs to be acquired. What are preparations that we need to do now so that immediately the whistle is blown, we know where the project is to be sited?
Okay.
That is what I'm talking about.
So that is the stage. You're still at the ground stage,
yes,
you say.
Yes. So the preparations that we all need to do to be able to get there is our responsibility. One
village, one dam, 1 million, one constituency. It all sounds really decentralization sort of arrangement. Is the local government service working on that as well?
Yes, we have a role to play. Because, you see, if you talk about one village, one dam, and it's going to happen in Gambaga, for instance, Gambaga belongs to either a municipality or a district. So you can't just leave it alone to that ministry or the sector responsible. We all need to come together. We should all be seen as active citizens of this nation.
Yeah, that's a very generalized posture, if you permit me to put it that way. But we have you here as heading the local government service, yes, and so we want some more specifics, rather than the generalization.
We have engineers in our districts.
Okay.
One district, one dam.
One village, one dam.
One village, one dam. As I sit here, I'm an irrigation engineer. Mm-hmm. I always say that when people talk about one village, one dam not being, we cannot do it, it's not possible, and that kind of thing, I can tell you for sure, any community that has a potential for either surface water or groundwater, you can have a dam.
I see. It appears to me that...
And let me go further. Mm. What is the use of the dam? You need water for irrigation. So let's assume that we have a dam. The embankment is where we are sitting, where we have the water for irrigation. And we have a primary canal that can travel from here to Circle. Mm. All the communities along this distance from here to Circle get access to the water for irrigation. It might not be Kukumlimli community having a dam, Circle community have a dam, but what do they need? The farmers, what do they need? They need water for irrigation. The embankment is at this area. We have a primary canal, and then secondary canals to various farmlands. They have water to irrigate.
So at this point, it appears to me that we're really not kicked off with the programs that...
not yet. Not yet, but there's the need for preparation.
But why? Okay, so you're at the preparation level.
Within this 3 months, we have...
Of course. You say your president said he's in a hurry.
Our president, not my president.
Well, I mean, President Akufo-Addo
yes,
he won on the ticket of the NPP. So yes, when I said that, I rope you in together with him as a part of the administration. But it's okay. So let's say the president says he's in a hurry. You should be in a hurry as well.
We are all in a hurry.
If we are in a hurry, then by now we should have started the program, because this was a program that a lot of people seem to be interested in.
We are all interested in this project. But let me tell you, a dam, you need to design a dam. you need to prepare. So you can't come to office within, President Akufo-Addo took office less than 3 months now, isn't it? And then in 3 months.
Next week, we're in the 100 days already.
Next week will be in our 100 day. Yes. I agree with you.
So at least we should see the foundations of the of things to come.
There's a lot of paperwork that we are doing before you get to the ground. And they are very important. Very, very important stages that we need to go through before we get there.
Okay, we'll have to wrap up this conversation in a bit, but let's talk about Galamsey. I engaged the former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. One of the things he said is that he believes that the district should be responsible for dealing with Galamsey. He thinks that one of the reasons why it is still a problem is because dealing with the issue is so centralized that the people at the grassroots are unable to participate in dealing with it. What do you say as a local government expert?
I think Galamsey is a menace. It's something that we all need to fight it. It shouldn't only be the responsibility of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Mining. No. Ministry of Local Government Service, Interior, Environment, Science, Technology, Innovation, all of us should be seen to be together in fighting this menace. Look, just about 3 weeks ago, I traveled to Asankregua, Wasa Amenfi area. Look, what I saw, I wept. I was with a friend, Honorable Kwesibaini, in one vehicle, one for a funeral. We go to Ankubra River. What I saw is like we are intentionally killing the river.
How do you intend to galvanize the districts to deal with this issue?
You see, there are times that I would say some of these things go beyond the assemblies. You are in Asamenfi, either Menfi East or Menfi West District Assembly. Minerals Commission has given permission to a company to explore gold deposits in that area. They come with a permit.
A permit. And that is exactly the problem that the former minister spoke about. He said it is a problem because you do not engage. The central government does not engage. Even though you speak a lot about decentralization, which is one of the things that the NPP has said, that even at the districts, they are not involved in some of these things. And that's why we have a problem.
This is exactly what I'm going to talk about. If you are a DC, that's District Chief Executive, a coordinating director, planner, engineer, whatever, in a particular district, you should be interested. It could even be possible that where he had a permit to work, it's not the area that is working. It is possible. Again, another area that we should all be looking at, we get these people mining in unauthorized areas. We need to fight it. We leave it with the assemblies. Assemblies taking care of the police or the military officers who are there. I think we should see that to be a national security issue.
Yes, but you have to work with the districts. That's
exactly what I'm talking about. Assemblies need to fight this, but they cannot do it alone.
Now that you are new head, for this service, what do you think you can do in your role to help deal with this issue, this Galamsey issue?
What I would do is to liaise with the assemblies, the regional ministers, regional coordinating directors, and even Interior Ministry. That's when it comes to fighting this. We should leave it with the assemblies. The Interior Ministry should be responsible for the fight of this menace. Awarding, giving out parcels of land for prospecting. Minerals Commission, we should take a second look at what we're doing. So the question is, the Minerals Commission, do they give permit to people to mine in rivers? Did they do that?
I don't know, you were there.
If they don't, what are the monitoring mechanisms that are in place to forestall this? When some of these our own people with foreigners, including Chinese, are arrested, what next? What are the next steps? we should be seeing that this is something that is really, you know, I would say killing, let me use that word, killing this nation. Do we sit down to see this continue? It's my responsibility, it's your responsibility. Galamsey activities should become a thing of the past very, very soon.
Well, we've heard that over and over again, and it still hasn't ended. In fact, it is getting worse.
It will end. That's what I'm talking about. It will end.
Okay.
If we are all committed to it, it will end.
Okay. Well, we're wrapping up this conversation. I'm here with Engineer Dr. Nana Ato Dadzie. That's a lot of titles.
Not Dadzie.
Nana Ato Arthur. How did I see Arthur and say Dadzie? I beg your pardon for that. So he is now the head of the local government service, and we're trying to engage him to find out what he brings on board and how they're going to kickstart the one district, one factory promise made by the Akufo-Addo administration. At this point, we're told that the paperwork is still ongoing, even though we're getting into the 100 days. Of course,
you mean by the 100 day we should be able to have?
We should have the foundation. You don't agree with me that it's delayed?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's not delayed at all.
Well, that's okay. But there's a very important national issue that's ongoing. The attacks by vigilante groups. I'd like to take your thoughts on this.
It's on decentralization, you mean?
No, it's not on decentralization. I'm looking at what happened in Kumasi, for instance. I'm just taking your thoughts as a politician, what you make of it.
It's unfortunate. We should all condemn it. I wouldn't ever support what the Delta Force did. It's wrong. We should condemn it. The law should take its course. That is what I would say. I would never support what they did. It's wrong.
There are concerns that there are people like you, politicians, who back and cover them. That is why it is very difficult for us to deal with the issue.
No. We shouldn't back this. This is criminal. We shouldn't back this. It is wrong. We should all condemn it. I would say that now that we've been able to apprehend a few of them, let the law take its course so that it will serve a deterrent to those of us out there. It is wrong. What party A does is wrong. When party B does it, we should also say it is wrong.
A couple of your colleagues themselves have backed these people, and you had the NDC accuse people like Kennedy Japan for what he said about the Delta forces.
The NDC, did they have the moral ground today to condemn it? NDC, I'm not condemning this because of NDC. I think that what is wrong is wrong. But NDC shouldn't be having that moral grounds to condemn what has gone, because they've done worse.
Is that a justification?
It's not justification. That's what I'm saying, that I wouldn't condemn it because NDC is condemning.
Okay.
What is wrong is wrong. That is all. But as for NDC, they should keep quiet. They don't have the moral grounds to really condemn what has gone on.
But if you say everybody should condemn it and they are condemning it, why do you accuse them of
then if you are condemning it today,
morality?
we should go back to condemn what they did wrong. We should condemn all.
People are concerned when they hear politicians speak like that, that this, that, and this, that, does that. They believe that when you do that, these people begin to feel empowered and emboldened to do what they do.
We should all condemn it. The president himself has condemned it. The president condemned it, right?
But he condemned it just after he said, he promised that it won't happen again. It happened in a worse form.
Yeah, but then it's not the president who has asked them to do it. The president has condemned it. He will go again to condemn it and then empower the police force for the law to take its course. And that is what I have in President Nana Akufo-Addo. Yes.
They're asking they're asking the National Security Coordinator, the National Security, the Minister of National Security, the IGP, etc., the Minister of Interior to resign.
To do what?
To resign,
for,
the NDC.
For doing what?
For what has happened, because they believe that they've not been able to maintain law and order.
I won't go for that. We should punish the culprits. Those who have committed this crime must be punished. For Minister of Security to resign or IGP to resign, I won't support it.
And they give your government a 7-day ultimatum to do this. The NDC, your opposition.
giving President Akufo-Addo's government 7 days to do what?
To do all of these things.
To do what? He said the IGP should resign.
Yes.
To resign.
They said to arrest Kennedy Japan, resign, let IGP to resign. Then
I don't understand the NDC. NDC is asking IGP to resign.
Yes.
And yet you are giving President Akufo-Addo 7 days to do what?
So within which all of these things should happen. And that if these things don't happen, they're going to embark on a few things which I could still look for. But what do you make of that, the 7-day ultimatum?
I mean, the 7-day ultimatum, let them, they are just singing, let them continue singing. I don't get it. You asked someone to resign, and you give President Akufo-Addo 7 days.
Because he appointed him.
No, but say resign. He didn't say President Akufo-Addo to fire. That's not what they said.
But people can resign all the time. So they're asking him to resign.
You see, if he said you are giving President Akufo-Addo 7 days to fire them, that's a different ball game. He said they should resign, right? And you have given President Akufo-Addo 7 days to do what? To ask them to resign?
To make sure that all of these things happen.
Oh. What I would ask from the president is to continue to condemn what is going on, and then also ask the police, the judiciary, to do what is right. This one, I'll humbly ask from the president of the Republic of Ghana. But for the president to what? Ask those people to resign, or NDC asking those people to resign. And then NDC can go ahead to ask them to resign. But the 7 days given to President Akufo-Addo, I don't see the head nor the tail. It doesn't fall in place.
And then, of course, you don't feel that the NDC has got the morality to do
at
so.
all. As for NDC, oh, they should just keep quiet.
If they keep quiet, who will check you now that you are in
We
government?
are checking our own selves. I'm saying that what they did was wrong. We are checking our own selves. Who in MPP will say that they've done right? Who MPP will say what they did?
Well, a few people have.
Well, I don't support the few who say they are right. I don't support.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let me wrap up with this conversation, but it's been a great pleasure having you. Finally, let's go back to the local government service. You took over from Dr. Callistus Mahama,
right.
who was appointed before. Appointed before you got there. Are you not worried that there is a seeming politicization of the headship of the local government service?
No, I don't see it that way. Dr. Mahama had, I guess, about four-year term there. He has done his part. In fact, when I met the entire staff, I said he has played his role. We should commend him. At least he has been able to raise local government service from a point to a higher point. I've come. Let me also make sure that where he left off, I could also get it to a higher stage. That is the role that I have come to play, to continue from where he left off. I don't see it to be for the local government being politicized.
Because the headship, because now a new government comes in, they appoint a new head. Why don't we just allow?
No, but even within the same NDC 8 years, they appointed different heads. Would you call it politicization? Would you call it that way? Is it because it was within the same NDC?
That could have happened, but the fact
it
that
did happen.
Yes, but the fact that a different government comes into power and appoints a different person, does that not bother you?
It means it's politicization. I don't see it that way.
You don't see it that way.
I've just told
what
you.
What do you say to the people who see it that way?
Oh,
and that the politicization weakens.
I will tell them that is not the case. That is not the case. Dr. Callistus Mahama came, has had his time. He spent about 4 years there. And that government comes, he said, now look, Dr. Atuata, go and continue from where Dr. Mahama left off. For me, I don't see it that way at all.
And you don't see that it could weaken the headship of the service?
Weakening, no. That is if I'm unable to perform. But from the way you talked about me, I've been within this service since the year 2000. I was a district chief executive for 4 years. It was within this local government service, deputy regional minister, member of parliament. It's all within this service. So I don't think, for the fact that there's been a change, we're going to weaken the service. I don't think so.
You don't think so? What will be your final words, sir?
My final word is that today we have a new local government service head. I'm asking for utmost support, trust from the whole local government service, from RCCs to MMDAs. Let us all work together to ensure an effective and efficient local government service. And I'm referring to the effective administration management of the local government service, the RCCs, MMDs, and all the decentralized departments in Ghana.
Okay, I believe that a lot of people, Ghanaians will say we want to see a stronger decentralized system.
Deepened. We need to deepen decentralization. And fortunately, our motto is decentralization, democracy, and development, the 3 Ds.
We'll be here to keep tracking your steps as you go on, but congratulations to you
very much.
And we hope that you do well so that this country will reap the benefits of decentralization. Engineer Dr. Nana Atto Arthur there, who is the new head of the local government service, spending some time with us here on the show today.